I wanted to come today and talk to you a little bit about how we are doing addition and subtraction in the classroom. So, typically, I know that you are familiar with what we did when we were in school, which would have been stacking up and solving, so where we would have carried the 10. For a couple of our friends, they actually truly do understand the idea of carrying a 10, but for most of the people in our classroom, they're not ready for this strategy yet. They typically get really confused. They'll put a 1 up there in the tens place when they're subtracting. They'll put a 1 up there in the tens place even when it's 4 plus 4, and so it hasn't really equaled a 10. So I've been trying to teach them how to use base 10 blocks or number lines or decomposing to solve. So I just wanted to show you my strategies so that you're aware. On some of our friends' report cards, I kind of wrote that they're needing a little extra practice there. I just want you to be aware of what I mean when I say that. So if we're working on base 10 blocks, I would draw, if I'm adding, this is 54 plus 38, I would draw 54. And of course, this is not the easiest right now, but you could talk to your kids about that. And then I usually stack 38 right underneath it. And I also try to make my ones be right here all together kind of so that you can see them easily when I need a group. So now the kids need to figure out if they have 10 ones that they can circle to make a new 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's how I would show them to do it. Obviously, most of you and I know that I drew 8 at the bottom, so I could just do 2 more. But a lot of the kids in this classroom aren't quite ready for this strategy of what we know. So then I tell them to cross out the ones and then draw a new 10. And so now I have 5 plus 4 would be 9. And then I have 2 left out of my circle. That's how many I have left over. Another strategy we've been talking a lot about is we've been talking about decomposing. So if I took 54, I could say that 54 is 5 or 50 and 4. And then I could say that 38 is 30 and 8. Some of our friends want to do it a little different. I'll show you their way of doing it in a minute. But they do 80 plus 12. And then they could just say, okay, I see 8 plus 1 is 9. 0 plus 2 is 10. Now, 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. Now, this will help them understand that we have to regroup a 10 because of the 10 right here. But sometimes some of us they're not ready for that. So sometimes they just do it to do it, and then they do it at the wrong times. The other way some of my friends are decomposing is they're saying 5 plus 3, that would be what's in the tens place, equals 8. And then 4 plus 8 equals 12. And so we've been talking about, okay, you got to do 8 plus 1, that's 9, and then you've got 2 ones left over. Our last strategy is number line. Some of our friends are really great at that. So they're going to start with 54. And they're going to make 38 hops. So they could do 3 tens hops. They would write plus 10 right here. For the sake of time, I'm not going to write it, but plus 10, and then they put plus 10 there again. And then they'd have to write 64, 74, and 84. And then they've already made 3 tens hops, so now they need to make these 8 ones hops. So they could decompose 8 into 5 plus 3. We've been talking a lot about that, but they may need a little reminder. So they could do 84 plus 5 and plus 3. So 84 plus 5 would be 89. And 89 plus 3 more would be 92. We are also talking about subtraction. Let me go and make a new page. My toolbar got moved down to the bottom, so it's hard for me to remember. Now, again, this strategy some of our friends are having difficulty with because when they see 96 take away 38, a majority of the kids in this classroom do not understand that if I have 6 ones, I cannot take away 8. And so a lot of our friends either want to say that it would be 62 as the answer, or they just think, they truly believe they are allowed to just move this 8 and make it 98 and then make this 36. And voila, they can get their answer. Honestly, they truly do believe that. So I have also been encouraging them to do base 10 block with this one. So I've been telling them, you cannot draw both 96 and 38. You just need to draw the big number because we've got to take the small number 38 from the big number. So I'm going to draw 96. I'm not going to draw 38. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, this is where a lot of our friends still are struggling and getting hung up on the concept of, I have 6 ones, but I need to take away 8. And they don't know how they get those extra 2 ones. So what we've been talking a lot about is going over here and borrowing from our 10. And now I need to draw 10 more ones because that's how much 110 equals. Now they have enough ones to take away 8. So they'll cross out 8. And then they'll cross out 3. Now, a lot of people right now are crossing it out like this and saying, oh, I've crossed out 3. But if you notice, we already had crossed out this base 10 block to make our 10 ones. And so I really haven't crossed out 3 more. I've crossed out 1, 2. So I need to cross out that third 3. So make sure you talk to them about that. So we have 5 10s. And we have, oh, that looks to be 8 ones. The decomposing strategy can work, but it's not solidified in but only about 2 of our friends' brains right now of how decomposing would work. So I don't really want to spend time showing that strategy today. The number line strategy would absolutely work, but a lot of friends don't want to do it because it is kind of hard, time consuming. So you start over here on the other side of the number line and you would count backwards. So you do minus 10. You do minus 10 again. And then your third minus 10. And then again, you'd say that 8 could be 5 and 3. So you could do minus 5 and minus 3. So now you'd say 96 minus 10 would be 86. 86 minus 10 would be 76. 76 minus 10 would be 66. 66 minus 5 would be 61. And then 61 take away 3 would be 58. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I understand that many of you want to teach your children how to do the stacking up and borrowing, and I am not against teaching them that. I just want them to clearly have a concept of why. And right now, they're just developmentally not all of them do. Again, ask me questions if you have any. Otherwise, please practice with them, and we are working on word problems as well. So the more you practice at home, the better off they'll be. Thanks so much.